Greetings and welcome. How come I built a spring-powered car like thing? Well, after my half-track project back in 2000, I was still left since with those remaining parts. Yeah, after realizing that it's a project doomed to fail, because it would have been an overwhelming project, which would take years to finish. So I stopped right in the middle. We're all for nothing except that one little test valve. Meanwhile, on my day job, I conquered an old used garage store torsion spring. And I was just curious if I could build a spring-powered car with it. But I need some sort of axle too, so I took the axle from my failed half-track. So that axle was gifted with a second chance. I put together some garbage parts. Well, it won't become much better than this. Those furniture casters are quite handy dandy. Impaled that spring with a thinner pipe. This is my drill. There are many like it. But this one is mine. My drill is my best friend. It's my life. I must master it as I must master... This is just stupid. But I like that particular drilling machine. For hard jobs like these, it's perfect. Because she won't stop no matter what. And just like that, the crucial part which connects the spring end with the drivetrain is finished. One end of the spring connected to that huge sprocket while I attached the other side to a winch to wind it up. But I did a mistake with that gear ratio. Well, actually I was aware of this. It was obvious. But it was just much too convincing and easy to build it like that. I mean, the wheels already attached to the axle. Of course, the result was very weak. Power of the spring being increased by those chain sprockets, but afterwards being reduced to the differential to almost nothing. Just a short burst, that's all. Yeah, sure, huge torque, but no range. Only 4.16 meter of travel distance. You have to put in account that the whole vehicle itself is already 2.6 meter long. So yeah, terrific. Yeah, no, it's a shame I forgot to install a freewheel. Or let's put it that way, I didn't know how to do that. But with a freewheel I could have conquered more distance for sure. It's obvious what needs to be done. I simply have to flip that differential around. The wheel goes to the place of the chain sprocket and vice versa. Should be rather easy. Did cut off the differential box right through that one axle shaft. Here's the deal. If I lock that one axle shaft and only spin the left axle, the speed on the pinion shaft is rather small. But if I turn both axle shafts simultaneously, the speed on a pinion shaft is much higher. That means I have to open that housing and weld that differential solid. While disassembling the housing, I destroyed that outside axle shaft bearing, because I used some chisel and big hammer, without removing the axle shaft first out of the main housing. Well, it's my first time disassembling one like that. Try and error. New bearing and a creepy weld job on the diff, from just one side. I'm already assembling. The result of that operation? Well, let's put it that way. It spins now much longer. But all of its torque is sadly gone. Oh yeah, that modification also changed the way of operating that machine. Just cranking it up isn't a thing anymore. Now I simply push it backwards like a real wind-up toy car. Because the gear ratio is now perfect for that. Geez, come on, show its range already. How much has it improved? It's much better now. Now I can travel distances I only dreamed of. I mean, just look, pretty decent, right? To max it out, I did increase the tire pressure to 3 bar too. So while pushing it backwards for around 106 meter, I could spring drive it 12.5 meter. Of course, after those 12.5 meter, there's still some energy left in the spring, but it's just too little for propulsion matters. The range is clearly not thrilling at all, so last task to do, destroying that damn thing, pushing it backwards till the spring implodes or I'm unable to push it any further. But because I can't predict how that spring will fail, I mean, will it just snap once, or will there be even a loose piece in midair? It remains a mystery for now. That's why I covered the spring with some sheet metal to protect my precious body from any harm. Anyway, round 1 on the merry-go-round. Still looks okay. Round 2 on the merry-go-round.
Ich habe jetzt die ganze Zeit ausgemacht, ist aber klar.
Was hast du ausgemacht?
Na jetzt die ganze Zeit, wo du rum bist. Wenn ich den nicht sehe, braucht er nicht
Sollte
filmen.
eigentlich anbleiben.
Nee, hab ich nicht
Doch,
gemacht.
sollte komplett anbleiben, die ganze Zeit.
Wo soll ich denn hinfilmen?
Na, du sollst ein Geräusch, vielleicht knallt es ja dann.
While winding up that spring, more and more, I occasionally tested its current range. For answering that range question for good, my furthest spring-driven distance was around 17 meter.
Du weiter. Sehen, dass die kaputt geht.
Schaffst du nicht.
So, hat er jetzt mehr hier? Immer noch nicht.
Ach.
Not quite there yet.
Filmt es noch, ja?
Filme, ja, hast du gesagt.
Hier vom letzten Mal die Markierung. Gucke hier, 2 Meter weiter.
Hör auf,
Kann weiterschieben.
hör auf, mach doch nicht kaputt, Mann.
So. Aufnehmen.
Na ja, ist gut.
So. Komme, wie komme. Guck mal, die Rückseite. Also richtig weiterkommt dann nicht als da. Also weiter zurückstehen. Weiter von vorne. Weiter vorlaufen, ja, so in die Position und nicht. Wie viel Runde? Wie viel Runde?
7. Kannst du überhaupt noch?
Oh, oh.
Any moment now.
Ist bald soweit. Die ballert gleich auseinander. Hast du drauf, ja? Hast du drauf, ja?
Ist vorbei.
Just checking if it's really dead. But it seems that there's still some energy left, stored inside that spiral metal wire. So what? I'm just finished with that piece of crap. Spent more than enough time on that so-called weekend project. In the end, this project accompanied me for at least a whole year, although I rarely cared about it or worked on it. But now I have finally completed it and answered all questions, so that I'm able to move forward. See ya. But let's be serious here. A wind-up car in real life is just stupid. At least, that's my opinion. Yeah, sure, you could make it perfect, maybe even with some infrastructure, so that you wouldn't have to wind it up yourself. Because the human body is just too weak to manipulate such a vicious machine with ease, like a little toy one. Also, there is simply no practical usage whatsoever. The whole project was more or less a simple achievement on my bucket list. A spring-powered car? Yeah, sure, build one. But let's never talk about it again.